Hey guys, so this is a set I've been looking for a long time, and I've seen them like in bits and pieces, and I didn't know how to really get them all together and which ones were rare, if there's extra accessories and stuff like that. But a buddy of mine had decided to sell some of his personal collection, and he had this, and they're all having them all together is kind of expensive, and I'm trying to think which ones. I think this is the cheaper one. But I think either Thunderball or Pile Driver is like the more expensive one. And his Orbit Man doesn't. He's not really like a member of the Wrecking Crew, but he definitely fits. So the Wrecking Crew is Wrecker, Bulldozer, Pile Driver, Thunderball, and then Absorber Man just kind of fits in there. He had them all together, and I was like, oh man, Absorber Man, I don't know, but I hadn't had one in a while. I will say that Absorber Man has extra accessories. So whenever they did the build a figure, there was like two extra arms, an extra head, and probably something else I'm forgetting offhand. But yeah. Um, and this is kind of like a B level group of the supervillains. Um, like I remember, what was the show? Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Back on about 10 years ago, the animated show. Like they would just kind of show up. They'd always break out of prison. They'd rob a bank or something, and then like they just get beat up and put back in prison. So, but they're all like kind of the same powers, like superhuman strength, their ability, stamina, stuff like that. And the way the story goes, if I remember it correctly, is that Wrecker is kind of the leader, and his crowbar is like enchanted. Like someone had, how's it go? Someone had mistaken him for like Loki or something like that. So like they enchanted the crowbar, and then he was able to like have everybody else grab it and like give everybody like all his superpowers. But they were all like prisoners. I think Thunderball was actually a little bit different. I think he was like he was eventually a prisoner too, but like they basically just broke out of prison because they had all these special powers, and that's pretty much the gist of it. One thing I noticed too is they have very similar uh, molds, especially Thunderball and Pile Driver. So whenever I grab these guys, you can kind of see, it's just a different paint job. Obviously, different heads, different sculpts. But I mean, the detail on the muscles is just insane. They do have the same boots, which is what I've noticed about the other ones too. They obviously have the same ball too, and it's just kind of like this like hollowed out ball kind of thing. But I mean, they did a great job with these. I'm not sure exactly when these came out. These were part of like the older Hasbro wave, so probably it was back when they still had them on the bubbles, so like probably late 2000s, something like that. Trying to find like a stamp on somewhere. Usually it's on the shoe, but I don't see anywhere. And I failed to do the research before I did it. But yeah, I can't even remember if they were all like in one wave either. Um, I noticed that too. Like they're kind of hard to stand for some reason. Usually big bulky figures stand really well. Um, but even like with stay, even like Bulldozer, he has the same sculpt, same boots and everything. But you can tell like these sculpts are like kind of added to it. Like it's a separate piece. The belt's a separate piece. Gauntlets too. The head, God, it's just really well done. Like there's all these like scratches and all this stuff added to it. So even Wrecker, I'm just trying to get him to stand. He's pretty much got the same sculpt, but you can see like this different kind of layer to it. So like they added the collar, they did like a mask and a belt, different hands. So these are actually coated. Well, yeah, it should be movable. But okay, here's the stamp. Made in China, 2000. No, that's not the year. 2012. I don't know if you can see that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, if they were all done around the same time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing for each one of them regardless, because it's the same mold. Yeah, 2012. Like, I wonder if his hand was stretched out. Some. It looks a little stretched out. There we go. Yeah, they're not in perfect shape, but they're really good, though. You know, I really wonder what kind of kept me from jumping all over these at first, because I kind of was hesitant. I was like, I don't know, I really want them, but man, they're so expensive now. Was that? Oh man, I bet Marvel's going to redo them, but I really don't think Marvel's going to make them, or Hasbro's going to make them like this bulky. You know, I mean, it'd be cool. Like, I'd be really excited about it, but yeah. You can kind of tell Zorbaman is a little bit different. Like I said, he was a Build-A-Figure. So let me grab him. Well, you can obviously see the balls, like similar to Thunderball and Pile Driver. But his sculpt's a little different, so he's got different legs. This is still when they were using that little ball joint thing in there too. So I think these were Sandman legs. It might be a Sandman body too, I'm not sure. But this was 2016. So I don't know if you can see that. This was always my favorite head because I like the gold eye. The paint around this side was really good, and obviously it matches this, like kind of like concrete, I guess you'd say. But I mean, he was a really good figure too, I thought. He's one of those Build-A-Figures I think like everybody had, or was kind of easy to find. Kind of like a really affordable Build-A-Figure, but still a really good one to have, you know. But I always thought it was weird, like Zorbaman was like basically unbeatable. I feel like Agents of Shield, the TV show, was like had him in there, and they were kind of bringing that up, like, you know, like he can absorb anything. Like if you hit him with like a missile, like a nuclear bomb, he would absorb that, and you know, use those powers or something like that. It was just insane. Like it just never ended, you know. But you know, he was a prisoner too, and kind of got busted out, and basically was given superpowers from the experiments. So that's his story. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this. This was a pretty penny, I will say that. So as a whole, I will say that much. But you know, I got a good deal out of it, and you know, glad to have it and add a new set. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching.